Because not only, whoops, I forgot to turn on a light. Hang on a second. Not only does she do great sound, she puts up with my shit. And me giving her a lot of shit. Do I look better now with this light? It's the warmest tone that particular light has. Thanks, you guys, for being here. This is exciting. This is like the official kickoff of the Tiki Lounge winter season. And man, we have like the most beautiful fall weather, right? Which allowed me to have the flaps in the back open there because Pat, you guys turned out, man. I actually had to turn a couple people away, which I feel terrible about. But I I wasn't sure just how far back people would be willing to sit there in the backyard. You're like, yeah, there's somebody way, way back there. Thank you. Thank you. And you paid full price for that ticket, didn't you? Yeah, I should have charged you more. Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. And there is a fire back there. I feel like this is just like the perfect fall evening, right? And then we have an Irishman here. I don't know why does that feel like, it feels like the most appropriate, except for maybe like the winter of our discontent, or if I I might be, yeah. But I haven't told him that I've been selling him as like the brooding Irishman. So if he comes out here with a bunch of happy songs, I'm going to be really pissed off. I'm not a particular fan of happy songs. I prefer dancing to sad songs. So hopefully he got that message. This is Pat's first time in California. Yeah, so I feel very lucky that we snagged him for this first tour out this way. He had a stop last night down at is it Novato, or it's a place you guys probably all marry. What's the name of that place? Yes. And so he played there, but now this is only his second stop in California, and then he's going to head back down to Berkeley tomorrow night. So I'm very excited that we snagged him. And, he's got a booking agent. Her name is Laura, and she found me before I even had my first show. She brought the first non-local person to the Bootleg, and she's been a delight for me to work with. Sorry, guys, that was me standing too close. 6 years, you'd think I'd be better at this by now. And she has really brought me some really great folks, and now she's learned my, kind of who I'm going to say yes to and who I'm going to say no to. And so when she reached out to me about Pat, she said, okay, I know it's a guy. Guys here, they just usually have to bring their beautiful wives that they're singing duo with or something, but she's like, I really think you are gonna like him, and she was absolutely right. Like I said in the invitation, I listened to just one song and I was like, bam, done, he's booked. So without much further ado, Pat, is that enough of a warm up for you? Are you back there brooding? Are you ready to come out and show us that? All right, everybody, Pat Byrne.
That's right. I'm so relieved you said you like sad songs. That's all I got. No, there will be moments of levity in here. Thank you for coming out. This is great. Couldn't believe this place when I walked through the curtains earlier. Wow. I do not feel like I'm in someone's house. I spent the last 3 or 4 days on the road trying to get here, and I didn't know what I was coming to. I was like, is anyone going to be at these shows? And she told me 49 of you were coming, and I almost started crying. This is just... Thank you so much, Cassie. This is beautiful. And now to devastate you all with some sadness. This one's called Only a Man.
She circled the wagons, she didn't give me a chance, and she pulled my heart out with a seismic glance. And this race was over before it even began. If I was a horse, they'd shoot me, but I'm only a man. And if I had a designer, he was well equipped. He was tried and tested, and he stuck to the script. He drank a bottle of brandy before he drew up my plans. If I was a house, they'd knock me down, but I'm only a man. And I get lost in translation, I fly into a rage, I splatter affection all over the page. But this is no love story, we're not Jack and Diane. If I was a letter, you'd return me, but I'm only a man. And the songs of fondness carry me up towards the planets. Then the songs of numbness send me crashing back down to earth. I'd catch the stars if they'd help me know what you're thinking. If I could paint your dreams, then I would, for all that it's worth. But I can't. Now it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm lying here on the floor, waiting for an answer, for your knock at the door. But you're on greener pastures, you've slipped through my hands. Still, if I had wings, I'd fly to you, but I'm only a man.
Thank you. It sounds so good in here. Thank you, Mary, on sound. Wow. It's my favorite venue in California. What a state this is. I'm very glad not to be in Texas right now. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not actually from Texas, despite this accent that I've picked up. I sound like Matthew McConaughey now. I'm from Ireland. And I moved to Texas 8 years ago to be a songwriter. Before that, I was a wedding singer. I sang in pubs and at weddings ever since I was 15. And if I had to do Brown Eyed Girl one more time, things would have gotten messy. So I stumbled on Austin, Texas, and fell in love with that town. There's a great music scene there, and I moved over 8 years ago, and I've been writing songs ever since, and it's been the best thing I've ever done. But it was very difficult. I didn't know a soul over here. I lived with 2 other 20-year-old Irish men in South Austin. None of us knew how to take care of ourselves or a household. And we lived in squalor, and writing songs was a whole lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I spent a lot of sleepless nights staring at blank pages, and this next song was one of the first ones I wrote. It came about 3 a.m. and I was sitting in the kitchen of this house that just looked like shit, and rethinking if I made the right decision. And Just a song about uncertainty. It's called Feeling Indigo.
There's a smell here in the kitchen, and there's stains on all the walls, and the dirty dishes keep getting taller and taller and taller, and I'm rejecting all my calls and reasons to be grateful, reasons to believe. These lists keep getting shorter and shorter and shorter, and I'm forgetting how to breathe. But nothing's gonna happen when you're saving all your rations, staring at a fork in the road, filled with indecision, feeding superstition till your head explodes. You're feeling indigo. You're feeling indigo. And for so long now I've been losing, because I didn't know the game. Well, lately I've been studying up on the rule book. So far all the outcomes stay the same. And I was daydreaming on the freeway, and this preacher was selling it well. He said, God save those who live in comfort, while all the sinners sink into hell. And nothing's gonna happen when you're saving all your rations, staring at a fork in the road, filled with indecision, feeding superstitions till your head explodes. You're feeling indigo. You're feeling indigo. And I don't wanna walk away. I'm just needing something true. When everything around is gray, but I'm not really feeling blue. I'm feeling indigo. I'm feeling indigo. Yeah, I'm feeling indigo. I'm feeling indigo.
Thank you. It's nice and warm.
Seventh day he rested, said there's one sure way humans can be bested. Give them wine and song, fire and lust. When it all goes wrong, I'm the man they trust. Now you're all my own, all mine together. You can sing my name, sing my praise forever. I am God above, Lord God Almighty, Mama. Yeah, well, that's not all. I've got me this flame, and it's a swinger's ball. If you don't know my name, oh, you think it's hot down there in July. I've got the means and the kitchen a fry, and now you're all my own, all mine together, all my doubting children locked away forever. I am God above, Lord God Almighty, Mama. I made the heaven and earth, I made the stars above. Is it too much to ask for a little love? And so I tip my hat to all your creations. You can fly like birds, destroy entire nations. Go and curse my name with your last breath. If all I brought to your life was death, and now you're all my own, all mine together, all my doubting children locked away forever. I'm God above, Lord God Almighty, Mama.
Thank you. Okay. All right. I got a new record coming out in a few weeks. I know they're all new to you, but I haven't put a record out in a couple of years. And I don't have very much money, so I just did a live record in one day, and it's like a video shoot, and it's going to be coming out over the next few weeks. And one of them is this next song. And I wrote this with my friend Ben Balmer, who lives in Asheville. I spend most of my life in my car by myself. That's if I have downtime, it's pretty much driving in the car. And I was about to drive from Nashville to Austin, and Ben sent me this verse of a song that he was working on, and he was stuck. He couldn't get anywhere with it. And he sent it to me, and he said, "Do you want to help me write this?" And it just so happened that the first verse took place in a vehicle. It was like a love story that played out inside this vehicle that a couple lived in. And I thought, well, I'm going to be in a car for the next 13 hours. And then over the course of the journey, we finished this song. And it's called Blown Out Candles.
I wish I had headlights to give us some light. We'll have to stop a little early to sleep for the night. But the load feels lighter when I'm cooking for two. The smell of blown out candles makes me think about you. And I'm a creature of comfort, but I expect the worst. Some folks would look at how we're living and they'd say that we're cursed. But a curse is just a promise, it's a coward's taboo. The smell of blown out candles makes me think about you. And the East Coast winter's made for treacherous nights. But I had a truckload of blankets and I could hold you so tight. And I'd read from the pages that I had written for you. And then you'd blow out the candles when the pages were through. You said that all you needed was a bed and 4 wheels. But I knew that one more winter would change how you feel. And the miles we left behind were miles we couldn't undo. The smell of blown out candles makes me think about you. And the glow on our faces flickers in the dark and yellow light. And I look for traces of you beside me almost every night. So I said I'd get a job and try to build us a life. And then when things came together, I could make you my wife. You said you couldn't bear to watch me leave this life that I knew. So now I can't light a candle without thinking about you. And then you moved across the country, I watched you drive away. 3 years into these pages and I set them all ablaze. These songs of tandem hearts you said you'd outgrew. The smell of blown out candles makes me think about you. Yeah, the smell of blown out candles makes me think about you. The smell of blown out candles makes me think about you. Thank you. Is it sad enough? Is it getting sad enough here? Let's see about that. This next one was written by one of my best friends, Eric Betancourt, who's a great songwriter that lives in Austin. I had an opportunity a few years back to work with Bruce Robison, who's a great songwriter and producer in Texas. He's got a record label and a YouTube channel called The Next Waltz, where he has assembled this group of incredible musicians to play with guest songwriters, and they record it live to tape, and they get some great video, and they put it on YouTube, and he releases it on his label. And I'd been a fan of this thing for a while, and then I got invited to come do a song. Yeah, but I didn't have any new songs. I had just released my own record, and I only started writing recently, so I had nothing. And I tried to write songs, and everything I wrote was just garbage. And so then I heard Eric, one of my best friends, singing this song, and he hadn't recorded it. And I was like, do you mind if I record that song? And he was delighted that someone was going to record it, so that's what I did. It's an Eric Betancourt song, and Eric's a strange man. He's obsessed with aliens and hot yoga. And yeah, when the pandemic happened, hot yoga was taken away. But luckily we live in Austin, so he would just go outside and do yoga. Plenty hot. And he joined an online Zoom yoga class, and then one day he texted me that he had fallen in love with the Zoom yoga instructor. And he was going to drive to Maine to be with her. And I just read the text and put it back in my pocket and didn't take it very seriously. But the following week, he arrived at my house and in his big, scary van that he drives, and it was loaded up with all his earthly possessions, and he was driving to Maine to be with this Zoom yoga instructor, and I couldn't believe it. I was very happy for him. He's been single as long as I've known him, and I was so happy that he found love, but also sad to be losing him from the scene in Austin. And we were all sad, but we waved him off into the sunset, and he drove to Maine to be with the Zoom yoga instructor. And then 2 weeks later, he was back in Austin.
And he had written this song about the whole thing, which worked out great for me. I outsourced all of the misery to Eric and got this great heartbreak song. It's called Until It Isn't. Don't think she knew he was coming. Always let them know.
You said I should have tried harder. I said I didn't know what that meant. You said it is what it is then. You said it is what it is till it isn't. We're always talking past one another, as if the sound waves are bent. Though I plead for understanding, you said it is what it is till it isn't. Yes, you said it is what it is till it isn't. Maybe we should just let go, and you pretend I never came. Maybe we could try to find some peace of mind in this beautiful mistake. You had to look behind door number 2. You played your game outside the limits, and though I begged and I pleaded, you still did it. Yes, I guess it is what it is till it isn't. I guess it is what it is till it isn't. And I'm past the point of letting go. In the southern sun I know my place, but maybe we could find some peace of mind in the afterglow of this beautiful mistake, of this beautiful mistake. So now I lean into the pain. The sorrow is quite magnificent. Though you begged and you pleaded, I said it is what it is till it isn't. Yes, I said it is what it is till it isn't. Could you sing that with me? I said it is what it is till... Come on, bootleggers, all together. Yeah, I guess it is what it is till it isn't. 3 more times it is what it is till it isn't. 2 more times it is what it is till... Yeah, I guess it is what it is till it isn't. 1 more time it is what it is till it isn't. Yes, it is what it is. Namaste.
Beautiful singing. Is it anyone's first time at the Tiki Lounge? Wow! We're all experiencing it together. What a cool place. Oh my God. I feel like I'm in Hawaii, a very cold Hawaii. This is another one that's going to be on that live EP coming out in a few weeks. When I was 11 years old, my class in school took a field trip to the botanical gardens in Ireland. They're a beautiful Japanese-style garden in County Kildare in the Midlands. And I don't remember anything about the trip, but at the end of it, they gave each of us, there's 24 of us in the class, and they gave us all a small silver birch tree to bring home and plant in our gardens. And we sat them on our laps in the flower pots, and when we got home, we planted them in our backyards, and it was just a nice thing. I grew up in a police station. My dad is a cop, and we're from a very tiny village, like 1,500 people, and so that's just one of the rooms in our house was the police station. It was a strange way to grow up, but that's... So I planted the tree in the police station, and then a few years went by and my dad retired and we had to leave the police station, and I totally forgot about the tree that I planted. But then 2 or 3 years ago I was home visiting friends and noticed that everybody had this beautiful tall silver birch tree in their backyard. And I remembered the day we got it, and I wanted to go see if my tree was still standing. So I drove to the police station and could see it from the street. It was the tallest tree and had this sense of pride about it, and I walked around the back to take a closer look, and it looked terrible. I planted it in a really stupid part of the garden. It was right up against the stone wall, underneath the branches from the neighbour's apple tree that were coming in, and the poor silver birch tree had to take this horizontal journey out and around the stone wall underneath the branches, but eventually it was the tallest tree, just as tall as all the other trees. And I thought it was funny because my friends' trees were just perfectly perpendicular, majestic. And they're all accountants and teachers and lawyers. And their trees seemed to meet with very little resistance. And my tree hadn't a clue what it was doing, much like myself, all over the place. But in the end, they all found the sun and they were all the same height. And I thought it was a worthwhile observation. Someday I'm going to get there. And when I got back to Austin, I wrote this song called Small Trees.
Do you remember those small trees they gave us at the Japanese Gardens 2001? And like beacons they stand now in our gardens at home as we venture out into the storm. Our canvas is blank, our odometer's low, our acquaintances yet to be found. And with every mistake, success and heartbreak, those roots find their way through the ground to the trees we're eternally bound. Don't dwell on your losses, don't count the days. You'll never get bigger hiding out in the shade. So lean towards the brightness, keep the darkness at bay. And if the light gets obstructed, we'll find another way. He handed me harvest, and then he jumped on a train. And I got back in the backseat alone, staring out at the clouds. Distant mountains move slow, whizzing past telephone poles. A man needs a maid, heart of gold, old man. But the disc started skipping before I got to Alabama, but the damage was done. So I started the record once more, and I rested my head to the door. Don't dwell on your losses, don't count your days. You'll never get bigger hiding out in the shade. So lean towards the brightness, keep the darkness at bay. And if the light gets obstructed, we'll find another way. Yeah, if the light gets obstructed, we'll find another way.
Thank you. Everyone feeling okay out there? Nice and warm and happy? This one's a bit of a story.
Oh, the year was 1778. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. A letter of marque came from the king to the scummiest vessel I'd ever seen. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. Oh, Elcid Barrett, cried the town, how I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. For 20 brave men, all fishermen, who would make for him the Antelope's crew. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. The Antelope sloop was a sickening sight. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. She had a list to the port and her sails in rags, and the cook and the scuppers with the staggers and jags. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. On the King's birthday we put to sea. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. We were 91 days to Montego Bay, pumping like madmen all the way. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. On the 96th day we sailed again. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. When a bloody great Yankee hove in sight, with our cracked 4-pounders we made to fight. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. The Yankee lay low down with gold. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. She was broad and fat and loose in the stays, but to catch her took the Antelope 2 whole days. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. Then at length we stood 2 cables away. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. Our cracked 4-pounders made an awful din, but with one fat baldy Yank stove us in. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. The Antelope shook and pitched on her side. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. Barrett was smashed like a bowl of eggs. The main truck carried off both me legs. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers. So here I lay in my 23rd year. How I wish I was in Sherbrooke now. It's been 6 years since we sailed away, and I just made Halifax yesterday. God damn them all. I was told we'd cruise the seas for American gold. We'd fire no guns, shed no tears. Now I'm a broken man on a Halifax pier, the last of Barrett's privateers.
It's a Stan Rogers song. We know that song? Stan Rogers from Canada. Okay, what did I have planned next?
I thought that was your encore, man.
No. Maybe I should have kept it. Well, the only job I've ever had is playing music. I've never worked for anyone else. And yeah, I'm very proud of that. My dad got me a guitar when I was 15, and I was the only person with a guitar in my village, and so no one was there to tell me how bad I was, and I immediately started playing everyone's communion and wedding and playing all the wrong chords, being way too confident, but it served me well. And you know, making a living doing what you love is never easy. It's especially difficult if what you love is being a singer-songwriter. I spend a lot of time on the road, and sometimes, you know, I'll sing to 200 people and they're unaware that I'm in the room with them. And sometimes there's 6 people in the room and they wish I wasn't in the room with them. And sometimes you drive for 4 days to get to a gig that you're not sure if anyone's going to be there, but you arrive and it's the Tiki Lounge. And it's filled with great people like yourselves who are all sitting and listening, and it makes all of it worthwhile, and that's what keeps us doing what we do. And thank you so much. But I wrote this song about all the other times. For every one of these, there's 10 other ones. It's called Feels Like Living.
I landed on the runway in Chicago, bought a coffee, then I traded it for a beer. And the connecting flight to Austin felt like nothing. I'm gonna give this place the best part of a year. And the woman at the motel is hard of hearing. She doesn't understand the way I speak. So I straighten out my accent and give her every last cent. Said I need a room to see me through the week. And I'm hungry, but the work's not coming easy. I'm tired except for when I'm not awake. And I put on my shirt and tie, tell myself another lie. No, you're not gonna miss another lucky break. And I wake up early in the morning and fill the day with useful things to do. But the only time it ever feels like living is when I'm down beneath the surface with you. When I'm running from the ruckus, hiding from the circus, down beneath the surface with you. My show last night was wrapped up by 11. There was 11 people breathing in that air. 2 who knew my name, 2 just watched the game, 7 drowning sorrow with despair. These Sunday nights, they're breaking me so slowly, chasing down that runaway thrill. Sometimes trying to play the game feels like trying to find a vein. I'm sick and tired of pushing water up this hill. But still I'll wake up early every morning, and I'll fill the day with useful things to do. But the only time it ever feels like living is when I'm down beneath the surface with you. When I'm running from the ruckus, hiding from the circus, down beneath the surface with you. When I'm running from the ruckus, I'm hiding from the circus. When I'm down beneath the surface with you.
Thank you. Every time I write a song, I send it back to my parents in Ireland to hear first. They're my biggest fans, and generally they'll say nice things. It feels like a safe place to send stuff. And I sent that last song home, and my dad takes back, "Please stop sending us these sad songs." And I sat down for a few hours and tried to write the happiest thing I could, just to show him how bad it would be. And spent a couple of hours and came up with this next song. And I sent it to him. I called it Capsize. That was the happiest thing I could muster. I sent it to Dad, and he said, "Pat, that's a stadium hit." And he was wrong. And I gotta tune this a little bit, bear with me. We have an aircraft mechanic in the crowd somewhere. And someone told me waiting for someone to tune their guitar is like waiting for an aircraft mechanic. It's worth it. I'm doing this for you.
Thank you. I love you too.
Takes about as long as well. Anyway, this is Capsize.
It's 1:30, it's midday sun, it's let's just get away. It's a midweek holiday, it's a case of wine, name your place and time. It's not security, it's not stability. I don't have money, no place, no plan, but it's better than a smooth ride, better than waiting for low tide, better than watching from ringside, better than taking the fall, better than missing every sunrise, trying not to capsize. It's better than a compromise, better than nothing at all. I'm easy, I'm slow, I can be lazy, I know, but I'm right where I wanna be. So spare me the third degree. I'm the ripple in your drink, I'm a smile that's out of sync, I'm the rainbow at your funeral. I speak in Roman numerals, I'm almost inconsumable. My parachute's on fire, but it's better than a smooth ride, better than waiting for low tide, better than watching from ringside, better than taking the fall, better than missing every sunrise, trying not to capsize. It's better than a compromise, better than nothing at all. Ah, but you know, like I know, I'm the bottom of the pyramid, I'm socially inhibited, I'm headstrong, but it's a heavy load when the wolves are at the door. But it's better than a smooth ride, better than waiting for low tide, better than watching from ringside, better than taking the fall, better than missing every sunrise, trying not to capsize. It's better than a compromise, better than nothing at all. It's so much better than a smooth ride, better than waiting for low tide, better than watching from ringside, better than taking the fall, better than missing every sunrise, trying not to capsize. It's better than a compromise, better than nothing at all, better than nothing at all, better than nothing at all.
Thank you. Let me do a song. Say that again? Yeah, maybe it's a tiki lounge here. Gonna do a song from John Fulbright, an amazing singer-songwriter in Oklahoma. He's become a friend of mine, and he wrote this perfect song that I heard him singing a few years back, and I've been singing it ever since. And I'm an Irishman, and I drink a lot, but I haven't had a drink in 4 months. I'm not giving up for good or anything, but I've decided, you know, when I'm on the road, it's just, I could be drunk every single night and I feel terrible and I gain 100 pounds and mental health goes in the toilet, and so I'm just not touching it. And this next song kind of is about that, how it feels sometimes. It's lighthearted.
Sure.
Hopefully it'll resonate.
Some people suffer from a social stage fright, like the world is a sniper with a bright spotlight. You can hide behind a curtain, you can hide behind a mask, or stand in the center with a highball glass. Whiskey makes it easy, gets you out of your rut, loosens up the cannonball that's in your gut. But the very next morning, ain't it hard to find? You're leaving every single thing you love behind. So I'll drink this gin and I'll take these pills, just because I don't have social skills. And the whiskey burns and the wine it spills, just because I don't have social skills.
Ain't that the truth?
When you're done. Where was it?
I got it.
When your hands get sweaty and your tongue gets fat, when you'd love to say this but instead you say that, when your heart starts pounding like to break your spine, like it wants to grow legs and find an exit sign. Have another double till the lines get blurred, till the jokes come easy and the phrase gets slurred, and everybody's happy while they're in control. Nothing ever suffers but the liver and the soul. So I'll drink this gin and I'll take these pills, just because I don't have social skills. And the whiskey burns and the wine it spills, just because I don't have social skills. Yes, I'll drink this gin and I'll take these pills, just because I don't have social skills. And the pain it causes is the pain it kills, just because I don't have social skills.
John Fulbright. Right, the happy times are over.
That was happy.
This is another song that's going to be on that EP. This will be the first single. It's coming out November 20th, and if any of you use Spotify or any of those things, you can pre-save it now. I'm not sure how, but you can do it. I'll leave the ball in your court. And it's probably the most personal song I've ever written. I didn't write it intending to share it with anyone. My mother passed away last year. She was only 64, and it was not expected. And when you live in a different country, and I didn't get home very much in the last 8 years, it's your biggest fear that something like that's going to happen, and I just didn't think it was going to happen. And so last year was particularly difficult, but thankfully I would see her in my dreams all the time, which I look forward to, and I always enjoy it. It happens all the time, but when I wake up I can never remember any details, and I can't remember anything we say to each other. And so I woke up on the anniversary of her death this year on the 1st of March, And I just wanted to write down some things that I'd love to hear from her. And then it became a song. And it's just a way that I can have some dialogue with her. And I'm going to have this song forever. And then I sang it at a couple of gigs and it really resonated with some other people dealing with loss. And I thought, yeah, this is a song. And so it's coming out November 20th. It's just called Mam's Song.
There's an emptiness here, now you're gone. There's one less voice in my world, one less number in my phone. And my safety net fell flush to the floor. Now it's a deathly trapeze. What am I doing it for? But you come to me in the night, singing Edelweiss and giving me wisdom. And you say, what's for you won't pass you. They can't buy what you don't sell. If everybody loves you, then you're not being yourself. Value minutes more than pennies. Don't ever put a price tag on your soul. And let go of the begrudgers. Hold on to your friends. Keep close the ones that love you, 'cause they'll be there in the end. Fill yourself up with kindness. Don't let malice have a place in your soul. You're not on your own. I'm deep in your fabric. You're taking me with you wherever you go. So don't be afraid. Here on the sideline, I'll walk with you in the darkness. I'll celebrate the light, but you're not on your own. So I'll keep singing till I can't sing anymore. I'll see your face in the crowd. I'll remember the things that you wore. And I'll strive to be the man you taught me to be. And then when the waters get rough, in my dreams you whisper to me, you're not on your own. I'm deep in your fabric. You're taking me with you wherever you go. So don't be afraid. I'm here on the sideline. I'll walk with you through the darkness. I'll celebrate the light, but you're not on your own. I'm deep in your fabric. You're taking me with you wherever you go. So don't be afraid. I'm here on the sideline. I'll walk with you in the darkness. I'll celebrate the light, but you're not on your own.
Thank you. All right, who wants to hear a Tom Waits song? Get us out of that hole. Ironic. This is called Way Down in the Hole.
Through the garden, you better watch your back. Yeah, I'll beg your pardon. Walk the straight and narrow track. When you walk with Jesus, He's gonna save your soul. But you gotta keep the devil way down in the hole. He's got the fire and the fury at his command, and you don't have to worry, and you hold on to Jesus' hand. He'll keep you safe from Satan when the thunder rolls. The devil way down in the hole. All the angels sing about Jesus' mighty sword, and they'll shield you with their wings, and you'll be close with the Lord. Don't you pay heed to temptation when your hands are so cold, 'cause you gotta keep the devil way down in the hole. When you walk through the garden, you better watch your back. Yeah, and I'll beg your pardon. Walk the straight and narrow track. When you walk with Jesus, He's gonna save your soul. But you gotta keep the devil way down in the hole. 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 Oh, you know you gotta keep the devil. Keep him way on down in the hole.
Thank you. I would love, let's get a 6th season going. I love every version. It's hard to, do you have a favorite? Yeah, that's my favorite too. But I kind of like the Steve Earle version too. Anyway. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, anyone watch The Wire? Yeah, that was the theme song, and every season they had someone different do the song. So he's saying I should do the next season. They should revive it, which I would love. All right, I got one more song. Thank you all so much. This has been absolutely lovely. I needed it. Cassie, thank you so much, and Mary for the great sound, and this has just been great. I'm driving to the city tomorrow, and people have told me I can't leave anything in my car. And I have so much in my car. And most of it is T-shirts and CDs, and it would really help me out a lot. Just for the safety of everyone involved, maybe we should all leave with a T-shirt. Thank you. They are the most comfortable shirts you'll ever see as well. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Let's hear a few words before I go any further.
Well, because I actually had some words specifically about this. Because I was having a conversation with Pat when he first got here, and he said at I think the gig you were at yesterday, right? Somebody offered him if he would drive down early to Berkeley tomorrow to get to church. He could make $200 by getting up at like 6 a.m. from here after this show to drive to Berkeley to sing at church. And I'm like, oh, come on, bootleggers. I told him, if I can get you guys to buy $200 worth of merch, he can stay up with me, telling me some more stories, and then he can sleep in. I'll make him my best egg, whatever. He doesn't have to go sing in church, and then he can just head on down for his evening show, right? That. Exactly. So come on, you guys. It's like Disneyland here. You got to walk by his merch table to get out the door. I'm not saying who needs to buy 200. I'll put in 20. Okay, I'll put in 20, but we're coming up with $200 worth of merch, or I'm making it up. You don't want to do that to me, right? No. And you know what? When you get back to, talking to Lori, your agent, you tell her I totally understand why she thought you were my jam. I mean, what a freaking voice. Like, not that many people should really take on Tom Waite, right? Like, they really, some people probably do, and then you're like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. But you did it, man. That was beautiful. And I'm a lyrics girl, right? And it's like, man, he, it's so brave. I mean, first he's driving around the country all by himself, this tiny little spit of a man. But and pulling up at houses that he doesn't have no idea what they are, and leaving his expensive equipment in big cities, and then gets out here on a stage all by yourself with just a guitar and pours his soul out, right? Like that's freaking brave. It's brave and beautiful. Bootleggers that are here, you've heard me say this before, musicians, they're my favorite species, right? They're my favorite species of humans. And I was having that conversation with Pat in the kitchen, and it was interesting because, he was like, yeah, well, musicians, partly it's this our role, and I thought, oh my God, like, because I'm always like, what is it? I mean, there's so many things about musicians I love, but I'm always kind of trying to put my finger on, like, what exactly is it? And I thought that was really insightful what he said, is because, and that is true, like musicians, it's not their job, it's their role, right? And what is a role? Like a role is like a role in society, right? It's a role that you're playing for others, right? And that's so many of the folks that are out here doing what he is doing, hitting the tours, driving 4 hours to come to a place like this. It's because they're doing it for us and society, and they can't do anything else, right? He doesn't have any Excel skills.
Zero.
So, man, you are playing your role in such a beautiful way, and thank you for blessing us here tonight. Thank you.
Wow. This is the best. What a great place. Gotta tell you, I wasn't feeling so great this morning. Now I feel very good. Thank you so much for having me here, and I won't forget it. And next time I'll bring a beautiful woman with me, because I just got engaged. Yeah. And I'm gonna finish with a song here that I wrote for her. Her name's Samantha, and we've been together for 6 years in January, and she was the first woman I ever was totally head over heels, could see a future with, and I'd been living with her for a year before I had met her parents. I was so nervous to meet her parents. She's from a big Italian-American family in New Jersey. I'd seen The Sopranos and The Wire. I know what goes on. And, you know, I'm a broke musician, so that's the last thing parents want to see showing up. So I was extra nervous, and like I said, the only thing I'm able to do is play music. Useless at Excel. And so I thought, if I'm going to impress these people, it's going to be with music. And I booked a gig in Asbury Park, near where they live. I'm a big Springsteen fan. I had this romantic notion that I was going to put on the best rock show they'd ever seen, and they were going to be so happy that their daughter ended up with this Irish hunk, the Irish boss. Didn't go according to plan at all. I booked the gig in New Jersey, and we took a road trip up there, Samantha and I, and we arrived at the venue, and not a single person came, except for her parents. They came and they sat right up front, and it was a much bigger room than this. They probably could have fit 600 people in there, but it was just her parents, and they sat right in the front, and I sang for 2 hours about alcoholism and depression. And I sweat all over them, and they did not look as impressed as I thought they were gonna. There was nothing boss-like about the situation. And then eventually I got to go down and introduce myself and shake their hands, and they're really lovely people, but they were not too impressed that night. And her dad pulled me aside and said, "Look, you got precious cargo, you better shape up." And the precious cargo thing scared me, and when I got back to Austin, I wrote this song called Precious Cargo to try and describe the ways in which I was going to shape up. And they loved it. It kept me out of the Hudson River so far. And this is how it goes. Thanks once again, and this is Precious Cargo.
My load was oh so light. The road was long and I traveled day and night. My feet were strong and I'd walk through fire and ice, searching for you. And when I found you, I was scared. The road disappeared and I felt so unprepared. My strengths were down and your words sounded just like a prayer. They went right through me. You took my hand, walked me out to see the sun. I've been on this road forever, but my journey's just begun. Empty vessels disappear out on the sea, but I've got precious cargo, and I'm keeping it with me. And now when things don't go so well, when spirits fracture and tempers start to swell, I know she loves me and I love her as well. Things will be okay in the morning. 'Cause when treasure comes your way, you grip it tight through blizzards and hurricanes. And in the dead of night, when your demons keep you awake, she'll pacify your burdens. I didn't have much in my pocket, and what was left soon disappeared. I spent it all in taverns, chasing whiskey down with beer, gambling and wagering and looking for a fix. But now I've got precious cargo, and I'm not taking risks. united, we're connected, we're a pair. Happiness is only real when it's shared. So take the lead and I'll follow you anywhere, if you'll let me. So let me take your hand, we'll cast our shadows in the sun. We've been on this road forever, but our journey's just begun. I give to you my everything, but be careful what you do, 'cause I've got precious cargo, and now honey, so do you. Honey, so do you.
Thank you. Great to meet you. I'll be out there staring at you as you walk past my shirts. Thank you very much. Okay, I'll do one more. Want to leave you all in a good mood here. So I'm going to do this song that we in Ireland sing at funerals. Funerals are a great time in Ireland. What's the difference between an Irish funeral and an Irish wedding? There's one less drunk person at an Irish funeral. It's true, I've had some of the best times of my life at funerals. And I always sing this song. And it's one of my favourite songs ever written by the great Scottish poet Robert Burns. And you probably know the song. And I learned it from Liam Clancy when I was a kid. And it's one of the most perfectly written songs ever. It's written from the point of view of the corpse. The happiest person at the funeral. As he or she ascends up out of the coffin and says goodbye in the most beautiful way. And so that's how I like to say goodbye. And this is how it goes.
Of all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company. And of all the harm that e'er I've done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me a parting glass. Good night and joy be to you all. If I had money enough to spend, and leisure time to sit a while, there is a fair maid in this town who surely has me heart beguiled. Her rosy cheeks and ruby lips, I own she has me heart enthralled. So fill to me a parting glass. Good night and joy be to you all. of all the comrades that e'er I had. They are sorry for my going away, and of all the sweethearts that e'er I had, they would wish me one more day to stay. But since it fell into my lot that I should rise and that you should not, I'll gently rise and I'll softly call, good night and joy be to you all. Good night and joy be to you all. Good night. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you very much.